show is a paid program.
Hey family, thanks so much for coming on today and tuning in. We have some breaking news right now. Bill Cosby to be released after sexual assault conviction overturned by Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Lord Yancyy on today is going to join us. International saxophonist and artist, over 20 years experience. And Mr. Lord Yancyy, how you doing, my friend?
What's going on? It's an
Man,
honor to be
did you?
on the Cam Hill Show, y'all.
I know that's right. Did you hear that about Bill Cosby? Wow.
I heard it. I'm in shock. I didn't see that happen at any time in the next 2 decades.
Let's get
No,
started with you, my friend. I'm so excited about today. Today, my friend, I'll just be reading a little bit. He says, I believe music is spiritual art form that denotes the life and times of our culture. I use music as a medicinal tool for the listener's soul. From an early age, I knew I was called to create rhythmic vibrations of joy and melodic inspiration. Over the years, I have witnessed music's ability to uplift, motivate, transform, and penetrate the hearts of humanity. Mr. Lord Yancyy, my friend, how did we get started into music?
music. I think it got started into me.
I
I
could
was
hear
a
that.
young kid. I was a young kid, man, forced to go to church. When I grew up in a Pentecostal background, and we were there like 5 days a week. So one Sunday, I'm there. I would rather be at home watching cartoons or doing something other than this.
Mhm.
And this gentleman came up to the podium. He went on stage and he whipped out this shiny thing. I had no idea what it was, but it was pretty. And he began to play a song that I'd heard before, but the way he was playing it had all this power in it, and something began to happen. This
Mhm.
Sunday was different because I felt something that I hadn't felt before. And then I saw Sister Smith over there. She ran, she threw a baby up in the air. A couple of deacons jumped up a pew. They caught the baby. Spirit of the Most High was just all over that congregation, man. And afterwards, I had to go and shake his hand and say, "What is this thing? I want one."
Mhm.
In fact, and 30 some years later, man, it's been a part of the fabric of my life. And
Wow.
I just can't see how life would have been without that experience that Sunday.
Wow. From that day on, in looking at it, you have played with some of the best. I was reading your the chart of so many that we've worked with or that we've seen. Mesa came on the other day, Mesa being one. My executive producer, shout out to her. That's what she loves, Mesa. Will
Oh yeah.
Downing, George Clinton, Howard Hewitt, Marvin Winans, Chico DeBarge. Wow, how did you get started to meet these people? Just famous. It's a whole list, family. I'm telling you, you go down the list, you'll be like, oh my God.
How did I get started to meet those folks? I think
Mm-hmm.
it just came from being consistent at walking
Yeah.
in my passion, and it
Mm-hmm.
also going to University of Michigan, perfecting my craft and just being professional. You know, things that education taught me. It just put me in good circles. Good
Mm-hmm.
work ethic, showing up on time. You begin to meet the right people who are moving it and shaking and making things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, pretty much, oftentimes I'd get a call. Hey, Yancyy, such and such is looking for a horn player. Can
Mm-hmm.
you can you beat him? Can you come down? Can what? And so, yeah, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, a lot of it has been through relationships. And I tell the younger generation that, hey, take care of your relationships. That's everything. And when
Right.
they extend an invitation for you, make sure you make them look good.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been my goal ever since.
And looking at it, just reading your bio and just looking at and listening to your music, man, it's timeless too. Your music that you have, How so? How do you keep it relevant and timeless?
Well, for me, it's always going inside the heart. You
Mm-hmm.
can't go wrong when you come from a place of love.
Mm-hmm.
When every note is embedded in love, and also working with great producers like Chris Big Dog Davis. Let me say it right.
Right, right.
Uh, Phil Davis, them Davis, they're not even brothers, they're not even family, but they just amazing producers. And
Mm-hmm.
so working with the right people who can just enhance what you do, add to what you do, inspire that greatness, I think it
Mm-hmm.
makes a world of difference when you surround yourself with people that are magical, so to speak.
Absolutely. You know, you have great creativity. Most do have the great creativity, but you also have great business side. You know, we always say it's 10% music, 90% business, right? But we really
Yes.
lack on that business side. We and many people that we've known that are great musicians, great artists, great, that are creative minds, but they lost on the business side and they lost so much. What would you tell people about that side? How, as far as business, give us some tidbits or some things that people need to do, especially new artists that are coming into the game.
I think it's a whole lot easier for new artists, but I will say when you come from a culture oftentimes that you don't have that support system,
Yeah.
and you don't have those examples, it maybe in your family or in your neighborhood because they out in the suburbs somewhere. If you don't go to the right schools, oftentimes you're figuring the path out by yourself, and so you're just not going to know what you don't know. But today there's no excuse not to excel in every aspect of business. Like you may not do everything, and I don't
Right.
think you should do everything,
Right.
but you at least have knowledge to be able to know when people are doing you right or taking
Right.
advantage of the situation. But with YouTube, with Google, I mean, I stay learning. I
Right.
stay learning. I stay figuring it out. Okay.
But you know what I love about you? You invest in yourself and you also invest in the right people, meaning you pay them, right? I mean, you got to pay people because that's what they do. You know, attorneys do what they do. You know, they know how to read contracts. They know how to do this and they know how to do that, right? You got to pay people. You got to pay them,
You,
boy.
bro, I tell you, man, early on, I struggled, okay,
Right.
with that concept. I ain't paying nobody to affirm this, that, and the other. But one thing for sure, if you don't pay, you won't play.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
gotta invest in a good publicist, like the one I have, who is top notch, Miss Desiree Benson.
Shout out to
You got to
Desiree
invest in it.
hooking us up. Yeah.
She's awesome. She really
Yeah.
is. You got to invest in good producers. I mean,
Yeah.
they know. They
Yeah.
know what the industry is looking for, so they're
They
gonna
do.
bring it to you every
They do.
time.
They do.
Okay.
They do. And they're going to keep you out there. They're going to keep you relevant. They're going to keep you new. They're going to keep people knowing what you do and things like that. A lot of people don't believe in publicists and marketing. Marketing is huge.
I think it's really essential.
Yeah.
If no one knows that you exist, you won't be found. So you've
Right.
got to invest
That's true.
in those things, or invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Again, get on YouTube. I mean, go for it. I mean, they popping ads at you. Take my course. Take the course. Okay,
Right.
take several courses. Go to the book to the library. We don't have to do that no more, right? Because the
Right.
library is in your home. So
Exactly.
I tell you, man, you got to market. You got to have a good publicist. They will move you further down the field than you can move yourself.
Right, 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 right. Absolutely. I'm glad you said that because, and just a little more advice for new artists. Many artists come here meaning that people will tell them anything, right? Just to get
Yeah.
them signed. Many times they don't own their own thing, publishing. They don't have their royalties. They haven't gotten credits on some things. Maybe they're just songwriters, or maybe they do beats, or maybe they do, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. They may not be the artist, but maybe they do still need the credit.
That's right. That's right. Uh, Coming from the artist side of it, I think oftentimes they thinking about right now. They're thinking about
Right,
that bill that they have.
right,
So someone offered them $100, they jumping, and they don't
right.
see the value of their gift, and they're giving it away. We are supposed to give our gifts away, but not in that sense.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you don't know, people will. They'll make decisions that's best for them and not necessarily for you as the artist.
I'm glad you said that because COVID happened, right? The end of February, beginning of March, and many artists are full time, including musicians and all. And if you were
Yes.
not prepared with your royalties, or if you didn't have things in place, you didn't have any more money coming because one guy said 76 shows he had for the whole year. They were at that point all wiped out. They were gone.
Wiped out.
Yeah, yeah,
I am so thankful that folks who had organizations and they kept me busy on Zoom. So I was very thankful for that. As an artist, during that time, not being in front of your audience, giving them
right.
your passion, not operating your calling was rough. Okay. That adulation in what you give and that inspiration that you inspire in your listeners, and you see them walk in one way and then they walk out a total different way, like a burden
Right,
was lifted. All of that is important, so important. And many of us, we didn't have that.
right,
But
right.
I took it as an opportunity to, hey, you got this time, you have a studio, grow yourself. I mean, grow your body of work. I must have come up with at least more new CDs that will be released
Right,
real soon. So yes, COVID came, but it was an opportunity to
right.
to grow.
And I'm glad you mentioned that a studio. You know, you had yours. You know, if you didn't, many people were like, okay, that empty room or, that room, we're not using the game room or whatever. We're going to turn it into that, right? Because you're at home
That's
all
right.
day. You got to do
Yeah,
something.
and that turns out to be real good for the consumer because one of my promoters was telling me, I'm swamped. I'm getting music from everywhere. So artist was about the business of creating music. So
Right, right.
that was a
Absolutely.
good thing that came out of it. And I feel
Also,
like any situation, whether it's COVID or not, there's going to be two sides. And whatever side you focus in on, that's the side that's going to grow for you. So
right.
I took it as an opportunity. And I'm sure many of my other musical brothers did as well. So you're going to be getting some good stuff down the pipeline that's birthed out of experience, that's birthed out of
Right.
passion, that's birthed out of necessity.
Right. Absolutely. And I think during this time, like you said, I love what you're saying because so many people, like you said, were really working. They took this as a positive, right? They were in there and they
Yes.
decided, you know what? We don't know how long we're going to be here. We don't know what's going to happen, but this gives us an opportunity to slow down. We're not touring, we're not doing other things, but we need to do something.
Not only that, it gave you an opportunity to just unplug from the matrix and the busyness and to
Yes.
really get inside your own inner world and deal with whatever you needed to deal with, whether it was family relationships. I mean, hopefully for me, it just strengthened family ties. You realize what was really important. And
Right.
oftentimes you chasing that success, or you're chasing
Right.
money, or you're chasing things that did not matter so much when COVID was raging out there in the streets. So yeah, it gave me a time to really go inside and just shut myself in a library
Right.
and just
Right.
work. Okay.
Right, right, right. I love the way you collaborate and unite with others. Like you're saying, they're sending you music, you're getting some things. Let's talk to artists about collaboration because many of them think, okay, because I'm an artist, an independent artist, I can only do my own. But with that collaboration coming together, you then really go into a whole nother world that they may have, their fans. You hook up with their fans and their fans that maybe have not seen you or heard of you.
At this point, I believe in collaboration. I
Yes,
just think it's essential.
right,
If everything is about you, the offering to your audience and your public is going to be very narrow. Okay.
right.
But when you add other people's strengths and gifts, it just empowers your project and takes it to a whole nother level. I mean, I can play various instruments, but I can't necessarily play the piano like Chris or
Right,
Davis. I just can't do that.
right,
And then he get on that keyboard and he adds some magic that I never could have dreamt of adding.
right.
So it's just essential. We have to work together. That whole I mentality. We don't have time for that today. It's all about us.
It's all
It's all
about
about you. It's all about us. You know what I mean?
yes, yes, yes. And then coming out of COVID, what did you learn along the way? And
What
let's
did I
just say the
learn though?
20 years, it doesn't have to be COVID, but over these years, what have you learned along the way that you could just tell some of the artists?
What
Well,
have
new
I
artists.
have learned? I've learned a whole lot in these 20 years. I've learned that, gosh, I don't even know where to start with that one. That's
Exactly.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. You laid it on me.
Yeah, that's good.
It's so many
Whatever it
life
is. I mean,
lessons.
just sing just a few things that you've
Ah,
learned even now,
faith.
lately.
I think faith
Yeah.
is one of the biggest lessons that
Mm-hmm.
I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
And that is oftentimes you cannot see the road ahead. You're
Right.
just looking at right now and your circumstances. And sometimes you just got to step out into the dark.
Yeah.
You don't even worry about where the road gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
Just step off the cliff, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because there is a force that puts something in your heart that that's meant to get out, that's meant to grow, that's meant to be a part of your legacy and your destiny. And when you step out and trust the process, the road and, and the light just comes, okay, from out of nowhere. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
amazing. So faith and even fear.
Right.
Oftentimes, the lack of faith is working and operating in fear.
Mm-hmm.
And what I learned about fear is it really is false evidence. Appearing is real, as they say.
Yes. Yes.
So even if you're scared to do something, do it anyway.
Right.
Just make it happen. My very first CD, I didn't like it at all. Okay, I didn't have a studio at that point.
Right.
I didn't know anything about a Pro Tools or a Logic mixing or mastering.
Right.
But a buddy of mine was kind enough to just make that first CD happen for me,
Mm-hmm.
and it just so happened that that first CD traveled from the East Coast to the West Coast, North and South. It had me working and busy. So
Wow.
oftentimes, create it's not even about you. It's not
Mm-hmm.
even about you. So you got
Right.
to step out your fear. You got to step out of doubt and just let it go. It
Yeah.
will never be perfect.
That's
And
it.
if you're waiting on it to be perfect, you
Right.
will be 99 years
Right.
old.
Right. 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 And I think people don't understand that about fear. Just step out and do it. They scared of rejection in the word no. Right.
Yes,
So people are scared
yes,
of that, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
yes. I tell you that fear, it is a self-imposed prison.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as I study others who have done exceptionally well in their professions,
Mm-hmm.
they've been rejected hundreds of times.
Right. Right. Right.
But what happened is if you when you don't quit, you
Yeah.
win. You don't lose as long as you keep trying. And,
Right.
and you learn more from your failures than you do oftentimes from your successes.
Yes.
And if something should happen like a COVID and everything is taken away from you, you will have built the muscle to
Mm-hmm.
go out and reproduce your success.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they could send you anywhere into the world, dear brother, and you gonna make it happen,
Yeah.
okay?
You have to. You
You
know what I'm
gonna
saying?
find a way to wheel a deal, make a deal, and buy up a
Absolutely.
neighborhood.
Absolutely, absolutely. And isn't that something that so many, if you look into the graveyards and stuff, you realize how many dreams that people did not, do? If you look at that,
Yeah.
they just did not go for their dream, unfortunately. But I tell everybody, let's die empty,
Mm.
whatever it is.
That's how I feel about my talent. You
Yeah,
have to give it away. Not for
yeah,
free, but you give it away.
right. Now that's
Okay.
another thing. That's a whole nother thing, brother.
That's a
Free.
whole nother thing. People
Oh,
will
man. They will
take
take it.
advantage of you
They
if you
will.
let them, okay?
They will definitely do that. They will definitely. But you got to know your worth. You got to know what you're worth.
Yes,
And you got to let people know what you're worth. And if that's not the
yes.
price that you want to accept, it's okay to say, you know what? I can't do that project or I can't, go and do that event. Many of us will just take it and then feel as though, bad because we're taking it because we didn't want, that's not what we wanted to take. And then more people will then say, oh, well, if they paid you that, we'll pay you this.
I mean, we as an artist, we all have been there.
Yeah,
We all have been
yeah,
there. It's kind of two extremes, but I mean, you thinking about, hey, I have passion for what I do. I'm called to do this. I love to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to do it, even when the economics don't even match the effort. At some
Right.
point in your life, you'll make that you do sacrifice, but
Yeah.
you get to the point where you realize it is okay to say no. Pull
Yeah.
out your horn and go and play to yourself in the mirror, as opposed to be taken advantage of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's do this. We'll take a break on the Cam Hill Show. Be right back.
To the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month. Both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 1.9% APR for 60 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. RonCarterCadillac.com.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Have you heard about Hero Go TV offering free TV?
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, we are back with Mr. Lord Yancyy. Hello, my friend. Looking at it, people have asked a question? What are some of your favorite songs that you've been a part of?
Some of my favorite songs.
Yeah, some of your favorite songs.
That's a good one too. Many of them have been songs that I've recorded.
Mm-hmm.
One entitled "Happy,"
Ah,
and that song, every time I hear it, it sparks something within me
yeah.
and the audience. Man, everywhere we've been, it has just been a blessing. I have another song called "Santa Fe."
Uh-huh.
That's another one that I enjoy. Oftentimes, as an artist, man, you traveling all around.
Right.
You playing this stuff, and so you get tired of it, okay? But there are some songs, and my new CD, my single that I'm getting ready to drop. That's
Right.
another one. It's called "My Joy,"
Wow.
and but also Billy and Marilyn, the famous couple.
Mm-hmm.
They just dropped a new single that's pretty hot, and,
Right.
and I'm on it. Yeah, Billy Davis Jr. That is.
Yeah.
And so go check it out. It's making some noise.
Mm-hmm. 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 Let's go back to Happy. Where did it come from?
Happy was one of those tunes that Phil Davis and
Yeah.
myself just kind of collaborated together and just hit the record button. And it just came from that place where creativity comes from.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you can't put words to it. When you tap into to that power, that inner power, man, it's
Yeah.
just like it's amazing what can come out of that. And it's not about you. It has a
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
Many of my songs, they have purpose, and that purpose is to bring some healing into people's lives.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
always go back to my spiritual upbringing. I understand the power of that music and the vibration and energy, and it's all love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when I've seen you several times, and when you are out there with that audience, no matter if it's 100 people or 10,000 people, you give them the same performance. Why so?
Why so?
Mm-hmm.
I think about my ancestors, man, and
Yeah.
all that they did to pave the way for me to have the opportunities that I have.
Yeah.
I also think about the spiritual creator and the omnipresence, meaning that it is everywhere. And
Everywhere.
because every day I'm awakened and I'm given life and I'm given this divine breath, it
Mm-hmm.
is my responsibility to take it and just pour all that I have into it.
Mm-hmm.
As a child at about 13, I'm in church, man, and this I had this vision of they call it Holy Spirit flowing through the instrument.
Right.
And so when I play, man, it's not about me. It's not about my ego. It's about the purpose of that music doing what it
Right.
has to. And I
Mm-hmm.
know I've experienced it in my own life that music is a power that you oftentimes can't put words to, but
Right.
it has a way of uplifting you, transforming you,
Mm-hmm.
renewing you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's 1 or 1 million people, you're gonna get the same show.
Right. Yes, yes, exactly. And that's what I love about your music. In doing so, and you mentioned this about the artist, and what the artists and musicians too, is that you need that connection because many times, of course, we as fans are coming in there. We never, many times we're coming in there, we've got the stress of the day, the stress of the year, the whatever it might be. But when we leave, we're energized, we're excited. You know, we love what that music.
That's why I do
Yeah.
what I
Yeah,
do.
absolutely.
It's just it may seem like a smart part, but really it's major. You never
It's
know
made
how uh, the dominoes begin to roll when you inspire just one person. You never
right.
know whose life they go and touch, and
Mm-hmm.
on and on and on and on. So I just tell you, man, I just can't stop. I just to the day, to the day I got gray hair all over my head.
Right.
I'm gonna be on stage, giving it and bringing it and inspiring. It is my
Exactly.
passion. It is my
Yeah.
love.
And just like you were looking at that young man, and he was playing his instrument, and you said, "I got to do it. I got to do. I want that instrument." So many young people do the same. Let's talk to the parents of some young people, and let's let those parents know. Thank God for your parents and what they said. Okay, you can do it because many parents say, "No, go to school. Don't worry about the instrument. Yeah, do it later. You're gonna be fine." But that's their passion. Let's talk to parents about allowing children with their passion.
You said something, and it's so true. The gentleman who played that instrument many decades ago
Yeah,
had no idea that he would inspire my life for generations. I mean, for all my life, for decades
right,
to come. He
right,
had no idea that I would travel around the world with that same shiny type of
right,
instrument, uh, being inspirational to crowds. He had no idea.
right,
And because it changed my life, I look at many of the brothers and sisters that I grew up with in the hood in Detroit, and I look at how their life turned out different than mine.
right.
And all I can say is, I know I had a praying grandmother at home who
Yes.
made things happen. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
those
Mm-hmm.
prayers went before me and covered me many
Right.
times. But the music was the key that unlocked the door for me.
Mm-hmm.
So part of my passion is providing instruments to children.
Mm.
I don't think twice about it. I'll even give up from my personal collection, and I have many. I've been known to do that as well, but so that's just something that I will continue to do. I would rather see a young kid with an instrument in his hand than walking down the street with some AK-47 any
Yes.
day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about the philanthropy that you do. I'm glad you mentioned that. The philanthropic side of what you do, because we need to tell people you really give.
You have to give. I don't understand giving to be with you. From
Mm-hmm.
experience, it appears that when your hands are tight and closed, nothing can get out and enough men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, I believe in one access to that. So it's been my privilege to go to other countries and just help build wells and just meet the people and laugh with them and dance with them and
Yes.
play for them and
Mm-hmm.
just be inspired by their journey. Just to see how, even though they have so little, they're rich in joy. They're
Right.
rich in love. They're rich in community.
Mm-hmm.
And something as water, come on, man. Everyone should have access to that. So that's a big thing for me. And
Mm-hmm.
now that COVID is lifting, I can resume my travels. I
Right.
had to cancel India. I had to cancel going back to Africa. So I am
Mm-hmm.
so excited about resuming that.
Right, right, right. And even in the States, we have so much. It's crazy. We have so many resources here, but unfortunately, like homelessness and other things that are out there, so prevalent.
Yeah, yes, yes, and more yes. Um, I don't know. You see people on the street and they're asking for stuff, and to me, it's not my responsibility to
Mm-hmm.
question them or
Right,
to ask what you're going to use it for.
right,
That's just not on me. So
right,
when I'm inspired to give, I have to give.
right.
Even though sometimes it backfires. Sometimes I had a lady ask me, she said, "Can I have some money?" I say, "What for food?" So I was going in a restaurant
You
and
gonna
I
get the
bought
food.
her a very expensive meal.
Right. She didn't want the
I
food, she
came
wanted the
back out,
money.
handed it to her, and that lady tossed that tossed about $25
What?
to me. I just had to laugh, man, and keep it going.
Right,
But
right.
oftentimes you give, you're not really giving to
Yeah,
the person. You actually sow it into your own life. That's a part
right.
of you that's recording your actions,
Yes,
and you sowing into a field that you will eat from in the
exactly.
future,
Exactly.
if
And
not the present.
yeah, if more of us understood that, we reap what we sow. You know what I mean? That's really true. The more you give, because like you said, if you keep your hands closed, you won't receive. But the more you give, the more you'll receive. I know many people just they haven't grasped that, but that's the truest statement.
I can show you better than I can
Right.
tell you.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
how I feel about it. I don't
Hmm.
know. It just if you look at
Yeah,
folks that
right.
big
Okay, we're going to take a
show.
break and we'll be right back on the Cam Hill Show.
To the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month. Both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 1.9% APR for 60 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. RonCarterCadillac.com.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Have you heard about Hero Go TV offering free TV?
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, family, we are back with Lord Yancyy. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about a few of the others. People are asking, how was it with Will Downing?
Will Downing was a blast. I mean,
People love Will Downing.
the that voice, it's
Yeah.
just that melodic, deep
Mm-hmm.
voice. It was just soothing. Every
Mm-hmm.
time we were on the road, man, just seeing the reaction of the audience, it just was, and hearing it on stage, man, it inspired new notes, so to speak, from my horn. And he's a great guy, very loving, very giving, extremely talented. I want to see his star and then just blow up even further.
Right. Well,
Wish that for a good brother like him.
that's amazing. You're closing out
He's a
June.
student.
Yeah, you're closing out June for us. So Black Music
And
Month
so
was in June.
I'm
Is
sure
in
we'll
June.
be.
Okay, family, we are with Lord Yancyy. He is closing out our Black Music series. June is Black Music Month, if you know about that. And he is the best in the series. Lord Yancyy, look him up out of Detroit. He originally was out of Detroit, Michigan. Follow him, check him out and it's Yancyy, Lord Yancyy. Say, friend, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I think I'm back. Am I back? I'm back. Yeah.
I was telling people that, okay, so June is Black Music Month, right? We're closing you out today. You're the closeout of it. Let's talk or just give a little bit of what that means about just Black music in itself and why people should embrace it and keep it going.
Black music, it is the bedrock to society. I mean, everywhere I go in this world, Black music is the soundtrack playing somewhere. Whether it's the hotel, whether it's I don't really club, but if it's the club, it's there. No matter where you go, if you can go to the church if that's where you go.
Right.
You might even hear it in the synagogue. I mean, Black music is everywhere, so I don't see it ever going anywhere. I mean, many of the cultures they aspire to emulate and produce that soul in rich infused uh, nectar given to us by the gods, so to
Right.
speak.
Right.
Yeah.
So absolutely. What would you like to leave with the viewers?
It's your time.
Yeah.
Live in your passion. If you feel stuck, get unstuck. If you're in a situation that's not providing joy in your life, it's time to do something different. Have faith. Stop trying and become your most authentic self. It is your time to prosper. So get up, go, let's get it, make it happen.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Lord Yancyy. Thanks, Desiree Benson, for putting us together, hooking us up. I appreciate you. I'm going to come see those concerts. We're going to get out of here. COVID is lifting, right? We've got to get our shots, people. We got to get out of here. We got to get moving. So, Mr. Lord Yancyy, thank you for everything you've done, and thank you for everything that you've helped us all with. We appreciate you, my friend. The Cam Hill Show, 12:31, 30 Central Standard Time. See you then. Bye.